Hi, class, and congratulations to making it to the end of the semester. During my slideshow, I'm going to go over my top three favorite assignments of the course. But first, I wanted to talk about some of the key skills that we were meant to target. This course was meant for us to improve our written, visual, and oral communications, as they are very essential skills for us to succeed in the business world, but overall our future career. One of my favorite assignments was building a resume. The goal for this assignment was for us to be clear and focused while addressing the appropriate audience. In this case, our audience was the job recruiters. In the process of creating this assignment, I played a lot with the formatting as I try to keep in mind that the job recruiters are receiving hundreds of applications for a single job position. So I know they're scanning through these in seconds and they're just trying to find that one that is the most effective. Some of the feedback I was receiving from my peers is that I needed to elaborate a little bit more on my skills, and I can see why that's important, as adding context to your skill will give you more legitimacy and overall credit to those skills that you're claiming to have. One of my key takeaways from building the resume was that it takes time. It's not a thing that you're going to get done in one sitting. You're definitely going to have to go back and forth editing some of the information in your resume. But most importantly, I learned that one shouldn't keep one resume the same for different job positions. One should change up their resume depending on the position they're applying for. For example, their resume might look different if they're applying for a food service job versus if they're applying for a corporate job. And I think that's why it's important for us to know the criteria of the job positions we're applying to. Creating a dress code memo, it was a little bit more of an easier assignment, but it still took a lot of drafting. The goal of this assignment was for us to pretend we are regional managers of a retail clothing store and we are sending out memos to the store managers addressing a new dress code for employees. One of the main purposes was for students to learn how to create an effective memo for future references. There's no doubt we are all going to have to create memos in our careers. While creating this memo, I had to ensure my memo was covering any questions and concerns my audience might have. I tried putting myself in the position of the store managers to create the best memo I could. Some of the feedback I received from my peers was that I needed to break up some of my sentences because I was trying to add so much detail into my memo. Some of my sentences were getting a little too wordy, and there was definitely some details I could have left out. I also used bullet points to make it more effective. That was one of the feedback I also received. I overall learned that an effective memo takes time to create. I think it's important for us to revise our work before clicking send. It would be even better if we get somebody else to review our work because they will catch errors that we might not see, whether it's a grammar error or a spelling error. Since they're going into it with a clear mind, they are more likely to catch errors that we didn't. Creating our own logo was probably one of my favorite assignments as it allowed us to be more creative. The goal of this assignment was to create a logo that was memorable while displaying a message. We also had to write a brief description of our thought process while creating the logo. And for me, while designing my logo, I chose the word cafecito over the word coffee because it is a word that is used a lot in the Spanish households, especially in my house. We speak Spanish, so that's why I chose cafecito. Some of my peers mentioned to me that I should have messed around more with the colors. Originally, my logo was black and white, and they were the ones who gave me the idea of choosing more of a brown tone since when you think of coffee, you do think of the color brown. Some of my key takeaways from this assignment is I learned that there is still so much I need to educate myself on creating a logo. I learned that one must have an open mind when creating a logo to let the creativity into the mind. I also noticed that some of the most simple logos are the ones that do the best. My final thoughts on the semester is that I have definitely learned new skills that can be applied in the real world. I feel like a lot of times students are in classes saying, "Oh, I'm never going to need this in life, or I'll never actually use this." But this was not the case in this class. There was definitely things I learned that I know I will be using in the future. My writing skills have overall improved. I used to think I knew how to write a formal memo and email, but after taking this class, I learned that there's a lot that goes into it. And that's why I recommend that we always draft and we always get our work revised. That way, we have things to improve. We notice that some things are just not working. But overall, we should always ask questions. We've all been told that if we have a question, there's no doubt somebody else in the room has the same question. I think asking questions is one of the keys to success because you get your questions clarified and therefore you perform better in your task. Overall, those are my final thoughts in the semester.